Hello, 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 hello. So, welcome to today's episode of Rising Vibes. Today's guest is Parachute Smoke. So, y'all know he is a very unique character in the big rim racing world. If you are not following him, you need to make sure that you go do so now because he is actually hilarious. So, make sure that you are ready to be entertained today by Smoke because he, like I said, he is actually hilarious. I'm gonna go ahead and try to get him in. We were having a little bit of technical difficulty, so I'll go ahead and try to get him in now and see. That's how it goes when you're at the mercy of technology. But guess what? We sent a request, so let's see. So it said I sent you a request, so hopefully it'll let you in, Smoke. I sent you the invite, so it's just waiting for you to accept the invite. Hey there.
It took a little while to get.
What's going on? Oh,
Took a little while
now you're breaking up.
to actually. It's breaking up. It might be the shop. I might have to go. I might have to go do it somewhere else. I usually can go live from in here, but sometimes the service.
Yeah, it's definitely the service is definitely not servicing today.
All right, let's see what we
Okay.
can do. Let's see if we can
Well,
get it a little bit.
well, while you do that, I wanted to tell you thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to sit down and talk to us and answer the fans' questions and let us be nosy a little bit.
Let's see if I get better service. Let's see if I can get some better service downstairs.
Okay.
Since upstairs does not want to work for me right now.
Like I
Of course,
said,
I'm trying to.
if you guys are not following Smoke, make sure you go ahead and click the button and follow him because he is one of the funniest characters in Big Rim Racing. He's also very knowledgeable, so he'll be able to teach you a lot too while you laugh at him. So
What does it look like right now? Is it any better down here, or is it still breaking?
we'll try to do it because now I can hear you a little bit better.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right.
So, like I said, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to sit down and talk to us. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
All
No
right.
problem.
So, since I've never
Gotta
had
get.
the opportunity to interview you, I want to start off with one of my questions, and then I'll get right into the fans' questions. Okay?
All right. I'm getting all set up. I'm usually set up in my office, but I'm not in but say get out the woods. I'm not in the woods. I want to be in my office, but sometimes upstairs service doesn't cooperate with what I got going on. So here we are. Nevertheless, we're good. I'm getting set up, but I'm ready for the
All right.
questions.
So, tell us how you got started being into cars and racing.
All right, so I guess I was technically first into I'm gonna say music and lights. DC is on here, and he was one of the first people we was riding around with what we call stunting. So I was like in the cars. I guess it was like Fast and Furious times, and like I wanted to kind of do like the tuner deal or whatnot. Man, I had a little Camry. I had little Camry, and I wanted to go like full tuner, and DC, which is on here, he ended up selling me some rims. He ended up selling me some 20s, which is a little big to be doing the tuner thing. So, then I started kind of doing the stunt thing, speakers, lights, horns, a lot of music, all that stuff. That kind of got me into, I guess, cars. But even in that situation there where the car wasn't nowhere near fast, I still like racing it, so I would race people, on back roads, on the highway. I would try to push it as fast as it would go until it started hitting the governor. So that what kind of got me started, into, cars, not so much racing. He said best car in the game.
Does that mean you was losing a lot when you was racing and you knew the car went fast?
No. You just gotta know how to pick your races. And I was racing like full size Chevrolet trucks and stuff, and I was beating them. I was beating them. I was racing full size trucks. I was racing full size cars, and I was beating, like he said, we was racing to school every morning. With literally, I mean, like leave, get on the highway, and just hold it to the floor until you got to the school. Just reckless, just reckless.
Were your parents aware of that?
Man, I got pulled over one time before a basketball game. I think it might have been like my senior year, and I think he clocked me at like 110. And I'm not sure if it was because it was out of jurisdiction when he finally caught up with me, but he just gave me a warning. And after that, I slowed down. So like I never got into any trouble with that car. No, I never got into any trouble with that car, with that situation at all. So
your parents were never became aware of what was going on.
Not as far as my speeding. At one point in time, I was borrowing their car, not to just drive to school, but like just to drive back to school for basketball practice. And I don't even know how I even got the music. I didn't even have a car, but I had 212s and an amp. And I had put 212s and an amp in the back of technically their car, and didn't say nothing. I just wanted to pull up the basketball practice beating with the music. And didn't say nothing. I don't even know how long this went on. And I had a cell phone. Of course, they were paying for it then. And they was just like, we trying to get groceries and we can't get any groceries in the trunk. Where did these speakers come from? And I had to snatch them out then. So it's like, I really like when people see me like with the music, like it's nothing new, I'm not, I guess I'm not trying to be a full-fledged bass head or whatnot, or build like a music truck, but I've always been into the music. You get what I'm saying? Like I've always been into, I always appreciate a good system.
I got to tell you, one of the first times I actually was able to see you at the track, that was when you was at the track cutting up with
Reynolds.
Yes.
Good times.
I was like, this dude is crazy. He is.
I just be trying to have a good time. That's it, man. I just be trying to have a good time, man.
Yeah, I was like, okay, yeah. I don't know him personally, but I can tell he knows how to have a good time.
That's it, man. I just be trying to have a good time. You hear some people talk about it, and they'll tell you like, you can build a car to where it's so much work to try to get it out and race it. It takes away from the fun of racing, or taking your car out. It will. It can become that much. I've been to the track to help people tune their car, and I guess the learning process for me is enjoyable, but it's like when you leave, you're tired because you're doing so much work just to get the car up, I guess, to run. just for example, you might have a situation where a car might make a pass. Um, you record the pass. You go on the golf cart or the four wheeler. You go to the end of the track. You pull the car back, drain all the water out of it. Go get some more water. Put fresh water in it. Pull the plugs. Look at the plugs. Have to put fuel in it. Look over the data log. Make adjustments on the data log. Check the tires, nitrous car, swap out the nitrous bottles, put the other bottles back in the heater. And it just becomes a lot of work. And then you have to put the fans on the car to cool it off just to try to make, one or two more passes before the track closes. And just that situation in itself can turn into a lot of work that can take a lot of the fun out of racing.
Do you ever wish you would have just stayed, just doing what you said you was doing on the way to school, not really made your car into like a track car?
I don't think it's. I'm not a thing. I know it's not full fledged there. It's not. It's not full fledged there. It's still a legit street car. I'm not here to say that it's what was that, like 1,000 Toyota Camry. I'm not here to say that it's that. It's not a family sedan. But it's still a streetable car. I probably drive this car every other day. Like if the sun's out, I drive the car. It's enjoyable. Of course, I like the Vert more than I like the T-Top, but I used to be the same way in the T-Top car. Just take the T-Tops out and ride it and just try to enjoy the car in the street. I guess a totally different power level. You get what I'm saying? Camaro's like 2,000 horsepower. The Camry is probably like 200. So it's a big difference driving that in the street. But
well, too. The other thing is, you work on cars, right?
I'm at a point now to where the only thing that I'm working on is my own stuff. Like I got a fab set up here, I got a turbo set up back here, so I got a couple people wanting to do a turbo setup. So I'm gonna be fabbing some stuff, but man, it's a lot of headache, I guess, fooling with the public. So I'm backing away from that.
Well, you guys who can work on cars, y'all really kind of got the cheat code, because y'all don't have to like.
Yeah, without a doubt. If I didn't work on cars, I wouldn't have anything like a race car. I wouldn't have anything like a fast street car. I just wouldn't. Hey, it's enjoyable. Like I said, both of mine running right now. It's enjoyable. I just cruising in the street and enjoy being in one piece. But yeah, without a doubt, if I didn't do like absolutely everything myself, it's no way I would be. It's no way I would be doing this stuff. It's no way I would even try to do the racing at the level that I do race at. I just wouldn't.
Y'all folks who work on cars, y'all lucky. Y'all don't gotta go through nowhere near the stuff that we have to go through. The people that's building cars that don't work on their car.
That's what I tell people all the time, and I know some people are gonna get it confused. I'll make a post and I'll say talent with the greater sign. I'll say talent greater than money. Because I told some people at DNL versus the world, I was like, this is a brand new car. Like, this is legit a brand new car. When I was out at DNL versus the world, and the car went to the finals. I felt like I should have won. The top came back. But that's just part of being a rookie in a new car. But I know for a fact it's people who have way more money than me, and their car was still on jack stands, from the year before. And it wasn't because of the money. You get what I'm saying? It was because they didn't have the talent to do it themselves. So I understand that I'm blessed and highly favored in that aspect to be able to do all this stuff myself. The same thing, I guess, just not being scared. Still came and take a ride with me, but I'm gonna have to do like a tour of my shop or whatnot. Being able to build the shop myself, so I'm able to be inside and not have to chase a light, and I don't have to be hot. I don't have to be cold while I'm working on this stuff. You know, that's a blessing. That saves a lot also. I think a lot of times people look at it and people say, well, I got plenty of money, I'll just pay somebody, like that's going to solve all your problems. No, having plenty of money is not going to save you from going to the wrong shop. You know, that's not going to technically save you from the shop dragging their feet. You get what I'm saying? It's only so
We
much
can't
it
hear
can
you. I
do.
don't know what
That's
happened.
all I
I can't hear you. I
say
don't know
about
what
this.
happened. I mean, I can't hear you.
Up, I might have to go. Let me see if I can change spots.
Okay, I can hear you now.
I can't. Okay, yeah, so I might have to change spots. Yeah, it's like I'm not gonna say it's a pole barn, but it's a metal shop, so like service is kind of limited in here. let me just say that there.
So you built your own shop?
Yes, I did, and I try to tell people, like, it doesn't have to be perfect. This shop is not perfect. There's no shine. Let me see if I can show you some Cricut stuff real quick. Hold on, let's see if I can flip it around. So I mean, you can see you might have to eyeball it, but like that board there's Cricut. They're not all spaced out exactly the same, and I don't know. All I can tell you is it's not
Yeah.
perfect by any means. You know, it's not, but it's functional. It's functional. It's plenty strong. I built a smaller
Mm-hmm.
shop. I closed in a 2-car garage. Was the first project. I had some people help me with that. One or two of my homeboys come over. We screwed up 10 on the side. Oh, that ain't that bad. Came back later, added a door. After that, I built a motor room. It was probably 20 by 16. 20 by 16. One opening. Just so I could store motors. And after that, I end up building what is now. I added on to it. I'm adding on to it right now. It's probably a 40. It's probably a 40 by 40, 3-story high, shop that I have. So yeah, like I just try to encourage people not to be scared and just go at it. Like, you can do it. You know, it's been life changing. It's not just for cars. This morning it was cold. I was building ductwork in it for a guy. Actually, DC on here is actually for DC Boss. I was building some ductwork for him. I able to come in here, cut the heat on, and work comfortably. The same thing in the wintertime. It has AC, so I can come in the shop, cut the AC on. It's been life changing. Probably the best investment I've ever made.
Oh, and it made it through a
Yes, it
hurricane?
made it through hurricane. It's made it through a couple of hurricanes, so it's plenty strong. I tell people, like, I'm a fabricator and a welder before I'm actually like a
Mm-hmm.
woodworker. So it's a lot of metal in it. So there's a beam there, bracing. There's also beams there, I-beams. It's I-beams all the way through the shop. Make sure maybe my service won't break up. I'll give you a little tour here, just to show you how much I-beam there, I-beam there, I-beam all the way across. I usually pull motors on that one, and then I also pull motors on that one there, so I have an overhead winch with the remote. And then I also have I have plates that I put in the concrete when I pour the concrete, so I'm able to put winches there, and I can pull the car in. Like, I work by myself a lot, so kind of like there, I have studs welded. I put the metal down while I was pouring the concrete, so I'm able to put a winch there, and I can pull the car in by myself just pushing a button. So in the same way, I can pull it back if I'm pulling a motor by myself.
So is
So
there anything that you
small
can't
stuff
do?
like that is like, say that
Is there anything you
again.
can't do?
There's nothing I can't do. If somebody gave me the right parts, I feel like I could put a
I
rocket
know
ship
that's
together.
right.
As long as they got me the parts, I feel like I could put it together. That's what type of time I'm on, and I try to encourage. That's just confidence, but I try to encourage people to be the same way also. It will save you so much time and money if you get out there and try to tackle the jobs that you can yourself. Even if you never done it before, it's like I've never done this much concrete before, but I didn't let that stop me. You get what I'm saying? I bought a good float and I framed it up. I tried to get it as level as I could. And I had a buddy come over here to help me spread it, and I just floated it, and it's here, you know.
What's your favorite part about big rim racing?
Right now, is dropping the shoe on people. That's my favorite part about it right now. That is it's nothing I enjoy more than than dropping the shoot on people. I guess gapping people. When the car works, I have not seen a close race as long as the car works. I've seen one or two situations. Top came back and I had a boost controller issue, but as long as the car works, I have not had close races. And it's like, I guess looking back at it, some people like to see a close race, but when you're in that seat, you don't want to see no close race, man. You don't want to be biting your nails sitting in that seat.
What's your least favorite
The
part?
only time I'm gonna give you two answers. So right now with Big Rim is all the drama that they keep up. You know, that's what I hate about Big Rim. On the stuff that I can control, or breaks. That's what I hate. Well, I can't really control that, but on my end, the brakes. I've had a lot of brakes on this car. If anybody follows me, I always say this is not a highlight reel. I show every time the car has broke. I have probably pulled this motor out. I don't know, 5, 6, maybe even 7 times this year. You know, and I'm still making everybody's race, so that just goes to show you the dedication and the hard work and the time that I've been putting into it. I've been out with both cars, multiple events at both cars. Yeah, that's it, man. I'm gonna drop the top and play that White Friday. But yeah, I've been out to multiple events with both cars. But just example on this one, I had a head issue. I pulled it out for that. Had a head fixed. They sent it back. Still had an issue. Head gasket, valve train, multiple transmission issues. Like I said, I've pulled it out at least 7 times this year. At least 7 times I pulled it out. Every time I didn't have to go all the way through it, but it's been problems. So that's my least favorite part of the stuff that is on my end. Yeah, the messiness and all the drama and stuff is I can't control that, but I do hate that part of it right now also.
Why do you think it's so much messiness and drama over here?
The number one reason, I believe, it's a couple of reasons, but a lot of it, if you look at who's keeping up the mess, people who are keeping up the mess are the people who are not racing. And it's not everybody who's not racing, but it's people who want to feel relevant that are not racing. I'm not keeping up mess, I'm racing. Hurt not keeping up mess, he racing. You're not Zilla racing, Macho racing. People who are really out racing, making a lot of licks and been making a lot of passes this year, they're not keeping up drama. Anybody who's keeping up drama, I guarantee you can count their races on one hand. I assure you. Look at who's mostly keeping up the drama. You can count their races on one hand, probably with 3 fingers. Is what I see. Some of it is on the influencers. Because they let people on their platform and they start a gossip forum. That's what they do. In a situation where they have a platform that should be for big rim racing, if you're not racing, you know, I really need to pay attention to the content that's coming out your mouth because you're not racing. So what are you going to talk about? So that's some of the issue also.
I would say this. So for me, I just think you have to be a certain type of person, right? I'm gonna speak for me, right? Um, I've been doing Rise and Vibe since 2019, right? And so I had to learn how to govern my show in front of the world. I didn't take any social media training or none of that. I had to learn what to do and what not to do in front of everybody.
Right.
But one thing I can say is the majority of people on this side, they know KP ain't with that foolishness. Even if I tap in and there's foolishness going on, and now people
I'm logging right off.
talk, yeah, I'm like, I don't, because for me, I always tell people at this big age I am now, if it ain't making me happy, making me money, or making me better, I ain't even trying to be involved in it.
Right.
So to your point, you are absolutely correct. I think a lot of it is, and let's just be clear. We all know drama sells,
Facts.
but
Facts.
for me,
Facts.
it ain't worth me tarnishing my brand. So I wouldn't care if I got on Rise and Vibes and had one person outside of being the guest on every week. I'm gonna continue to run my race and run my program.
You know what, KP? If drama was selling, I wouldn't even have a problem with it. Love and hip hop, I don't have a problem with it. They on here doing this stuff for free. They're over here being clowns for free. I told them, I said, at least when you go to the circus, the clowns are getting paid. It's like, y'all over here clowning for free. Like, at least the clowns get paid, and then the monkeys, at least they get fed. Y'all ain't getting nothing out of this stuff. Y'all ain't getting nothing out of it.
Yeah,
Like,
Instagram used to
I
pay
don't
you.
understand. Yeah, that's what I said. You not getting paid off this stuff. It's like even if it was Facebook and you could get paid off views, it'd be totally different. But it's like they legit doing this stuff. I guess for laughs, like they stand up amateur comedians or something. Like I don't get it, man. I really don't. I really don't. I
Well,
really don't.
hey, we at least we know we on the same page on that. Now,
Yeah.
one of the fans asked, "Would you ever build a G body?"
I have had a G body. Did I start out with a G body? I guess like muscle car wise, I had a G body. I started off with an 81. I started off with an 81 Cutlass, Oldsmobile 350, a True Gold Rocket, and I rebuilt it. That what kind of got me into the hot rod deal because before that, I was kind of looking towards the tuner side. So that was back in 09, 10, something like that. Had that G body, ended up bumping into another G body, super, super clean. I forgot who I was on with somebody, might have been low. And I was like, the prices have changed with these G bodies. I sold a G body for $3,500 and the work I had put into it, it was ladder barred, the back was braced, adjustable coilovers, disc brakes, uh, notched, tubbed, floor shifter, bucket seats. It was set up. The frame had been notched in the front to fit a big block, and I sold it for $3,500. I felt like I had my G body days. I felt like I'd had my G body days, so I feel like I gave that G body away, and I was made on that.
You definitely gave it away.
Yeah, my mind was made on that. All my buddies got G bodies, and if you can't tell, I like being different. So this is different. not to say like I'm leaving my stamp, even though I know I mean I know I have, but not trying to put emphasis on it, but it's like I'm probably like legitly the first different car anybody has ever seen in Big Rim. You know, um in a situation where I came over and raced, it was literally nothing but donks, box Chevys, and G bodies. And then it's like I pop up with an F body on 30s. So, and I saw that for years. There's like been absolutely nothing else, like legit was nothing else but donks, box, and G bodies. And Jay Ketchup has a Mustang out now. I seen a Fox body Mustang a couple of years ago. So it's good to see different stuff coming into the culture. I know that's why some people hated to see Muggsy come in the Falcon.
Right.
That's super different. That kind of started opening up the door some. Even Easy Money came in with something different though. Because what he has isn't technically a donk. It's an Impala, but
Right.
it's not technically a donk. So that in itself is something different. Like I said, in a situation where everybody was just G-body, donk, box Chevy, and if it's not that, then who are you? What are you trying to do? Type deal. So
Yeah.
just like being different, man.
Really, it's just you four, right? So it's you, Jay Ketchup, Easy, and Muggsy, right? It's just you four that have the different cars.
Right now, yeah, Boo's Doctor coming with a fourth
Well, he's
gen,
coming. He's not.
but
I'm saying
right.
here, because we.
I guess late night has a
Oh
Chevelle.
yeah,
He
late
does.
night.
Late
Yeah,
night
we
has a
leaving. I'm
Chevelle.
leaving late night out. You're right.
Yeah. One other guy that I seen, he's been at a couple events. He went to SEMA with Don't Master. He has a Cadillac. I have seen him race it. So yeah, he has a Cadillac. But other than that, everything is pretty much box. Stead has a Parisian. I guess you could still call it a
Yeah, because everybody
box.
think it's a box.
But right. It's another guy who has a Parisian. He got a Pontiac Parisian. I seen him race some, but everybody look at it like it's a
Right.
box. I saw a guy that have an LTD one year. I saw a guy racing an
See that? It was
LTD.
white.
Yeah, it was white.
I seen
It was
that in
white.
Texas, I think.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah. Oh, he said his name is A1 with the caddy, but yeah, I seen a Crown Vic. That's super different. So it's a few people out there that are stepping outside the norm. I don't like to conform. I'll just tell you that I like being different. I don't have no problem being different. So I'm not looking at, I guess, getting another G body or even on the don't note. Not really me. It's not me. Don'ts definitely cost too much. Oh my God, they cost too much. So I never want to go the don't route, but I've had my fun with G
Would you
bodies, I'll say that.
like for your kids to race?
That's always a tough one. It's like you want them to, but you understand like it's a fun sport, but it's also dangerous. So as long as I put her in something and it's not too terribly fast and she's okay with a full cage and a halo, I'll let her race. She's gonna be.
But what do you mean not too fast? The purpose of racing is to win, right?
Yeah, it is to win, but there's a class to be found for every car. Um, and I had some people tell me like, "No, don't do that. They not going to accept it. They not going to like it. They not going to give you no credit." And I was just like, "It's not even about them." So she's probably going to be in a new gen. I'm gonna be getting into a new gen. Because it's just so much safer. I know you seen like crash dummy videos and how the new cars are made. They are so much safer than the old cars. Even though it's real metal and steel, but you see how bad they crumble up when they run them into that wall at 50 miles per hour. So imagine what they would do at 200 miles per hour. You know, I've seen situations, and we had a situation in Big Rim where somebody wrecked really bad, and I guess honestly could have been paralyzed for the rest of their life. Thank God they were not. I look at that situation and understand if I'm in a new gen, which I will be, I'm gonna end up racing a 2020 Camaro, and everything that she's raised is gonna be new with steering wheel airbags, side curtain airbags, seat airbags, to where if something's to happen, it contains really, really safely. It's unmatched. You will never. You can get in a chrome Molly tube chassis G body, and it's not gonna be safer than a 2020 Camaro with a cage in it. It's just not. With the way they have the airbag set up, it's safe. That's all I can tell you. It's a lot safer setup. It just
Well,
is.
you have covered two of my. I'm a G body girl. I also sell G body parts. Have been for about 3 years now, and then I drive a new Camaro. So you said two things that are close to my heart. Although I'm not really a fan. I understand it from the safety aspect for your daughter, but I'm not really a fan of new gen racing. That doesn't. I'm excited about. What excites me or excited me or drew me to Big Rim Racing was seeing those beautiful cars go down the track on big rims. The cars were beautiful. You think about your in and out customs and your DNLs and your FYBs and many other teams. The cars back then. Think about Two Fly Car Summer. That car was always beautiful.
Yeah, it was a super clean car, inside and out. And it's just like I'm never gonna say I don't money wise, I don't have the interest to put that type of money into a build, but I enjoyed looking at those cars. I remember when you could look at those cars and that's back when it was fun. It wasn't so much grudge. Like Stunt Fest, Two Fly would be in the garage at the circle track with his top back. Don't Master would be in there with his top back. They didn't care if you looked up under the hood, if you looked all in the car. They was in there playing their music. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a good time. It was real chill and relaxed. And it's just like, everybody can take their program wherever they want to. It's just cars were a lot cleaner back then. It was. That's what made me want to do it. If I was seeing it now, seeing that a lot of people got like gutted out, just full-fledged race cars, I wouldn't have wanted to do it. You get what I'm saying? Because I absolutely have no interest in gutting out a car in the interest of trying to go fast. I'm not interested in it. It does not make any sense to me. So, some people gonna knock it, but that's why people are gonna see me do the racing that they're gonna see me do, because that would make sense to me in my program.
Somebody asked, what was your toughest race?
I guess they asking for a loss that I felt like I couldn't win. I have honestly only had one race that I felt like God, I was gonna have to take the wheel to win, point blank period. It's only one race that I had like that. And I ain't gonna lie to you, but I was sure hoping this car cut off. But that was against Domzilla. That was against Domzilla. That was the only one that I slapped knew I was outgunned, and it really wasn't nothing I could do about it. I don't know that you ever had your mom tell you to go out there and pick your own switch and wait in the room. It was kind of one of those situations. It was just like, I just gotta go pick the switch and wait in the room. And shout out to FYB 50K and Bruce. I asked them for some pills, nitrous jets, and I put a 500 shot. I put a 500 shot of nitrous on a second kit where I had 250. So I end up spraying about 600 on top of a LS1, which was making, I don't know, like 475, and then you spray 600 on top of it. So you trying to make 1100 horsepower, somewhere in that ballpark. It's
Right.
still not enough. It's not enough power to beat Donkzilla. So it's like you swinging for the fences, getting to the borderline of trying to split your block, and in the back of your head, you still going, this ain't nowhere close to enough power to beat this man. You like, even if he spin, this is not enough power to beat this man. Like, his car has to cut off. That's the only way you beat him. His car has to cut off.
Right.
I ain't ashamed to say it. Some of the other folks gonna have to wake up and see it too. Yeah, I see the laughing faces going up the side. They're gonna have to wake up and see it too. Man, you ain't got enough power to beat this man. You got to hope his car cut off. So something go wrong with him, so that's one I didn't have a chance on. But I took the fade straight up like a man. That's all you can do. Situation arises. I would love to race him with the new car.
Well, you know what though? The first time I ever seen Donkzilla at the track, I was like, this man got a whole NASCAR pit crew. His trailer, it got an elevator in there, and one person under the hood, two people at the tires. I was like, this man got a whole NASCAR pit crew.
Yeah, so it's like when you see that, it's not to say that David, he can't slay Goliath. Right. It's not to say that. It's not to say that, but you got to know your program. Man, listen, my program ain't nowhere close to that.
Yeah, but anything can happen in racing though.
Facts. That's why I said that was my only hope, that the car cut off though. I ain't crazy. I ain't crazy. Some people try to play dumb. Oh, this would have happened if I would have sprayed. No, my only hope of beating him on paper was his car cut off. He made way more power than me. You get what I'm saying? He got a totally different program though. I don't even have, like you said, he had two people over here, two people. I don't even have one person that's going to the track with me consistently. You know what I'm saying? Much less 5 or 6 people, So I can't build the caliber. Hold on. I don't want to. It's not logical for me to build. I could build a Donkzilla car. I could build a Donkzilla car. I could. But in that situation, that caliber car, you need somebody to push and pull that car.
You're right.
I don't have anybody that's consistently going to the track with me to be able to push or pull a car. So I have to build street cars. I don't have a choice.
Yeah. Well, you do have a choice.
I don't have a choice. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. But it doesn't make sense to me to do that right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you got a choice. Like you said though, you stay in your lane, you run your program. You got a choice. You don't have to build the cars. You know what I'm saying? You could chill out and do sound competition.
At all. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact.
So back to what we were saying. Somebody in the comments said that when the cars were pretty and fast, that's when it was a hobby. They saying now it's a hustle. And
it's a hustle and a business. Yeah.
Right.
And that's taking a lot of the fun out of it. That's taking a lot of the fun out of it.
And we're on the same page, because that's exactly what I was about to say. For me, as a fan, you know what I'm saying? It was one point when I had done bought me a G-Body with a cage in it, and I was going to race it. And then all this different stuff started happening, and I was kind of like you. I sold that car and just bought me one just to build, just to ride around it. Because I let's just be clear. I'm gonna always love big ram racing, but where it has went now for me is just different. It's just different. It doesn't have the same And I know I've been in it for a really long time. Like, I'm not sure how long you've been in it. When I say in it, I mean as a legitimate fan. You get what I'm saying? I've been here
Yeah.
with these people since 2016. You get what I'm saying? So I've known these
I
guys
got
since 2016, and where it started and where it's going now. But it's the evolution, right? It's just like
right. It's always been
growing
crazy.
from a child to an adult, right? It's just the
Right.
evolution. But for me, it's just a lot different, like you say.
Yeah. I'm about like, and it sounds crazy, but I heard Cece say like he'd put a dime in, like he'd about put 10 years in. Like I'm legitimate, like on the same time. I had a 1 or 2 years that I took off while I was building the shop. I just didn't have the funds to spare while I was building the shop to keep a car up and running. But my first stunt fest was 2015
Mm-hmm.
with a car. My first car on rims that I was driving around with a decent motor in it was 14. First stunt fest, like I said, 15, 16. The car was white on 30s. I was at Stunt Fest. I was at Donk Master Show in South North Carolina. So I'm traveling around crazy. I'm from the lower part of Alabama. So the drive to, South North Carolina, to try to prove a point on your own dollar is it's
Right.
saying a lot, especially
Right.
back then. Yeah. I remember talking to Hot Rod. I remember just watching it on YouTube, and I was just like, man, I could beat them guys. And yeah, the wake up call is coming. So I go outside, I start building the car. I said, boy, they don't know what's coming to them. They don't know what's coming to them. I go to Stunt Fest 2015, and I look up on the Don't Master car. I look up on the Cut the Check car. I say, they got race cars. I said, I got to go back to the lab. You know what I'm saying? So I go back to the lab. I go back to the lab. I come back out. I say, I'm ready for him now. I'm ready for him now. I forgot who car I ended up looking at in 16, or they had just did upgrade. And shout out to Stick. I seen Stick car run. I was just like, I gotta do
They
upgrade. Stickman
changed
Jack.
the
And
goalpost.
yeah, they changed it a lot. So I was just like, dude, this is different. At this point in time, like back in 16, it's nowhere in sight of heard of or middleweight or we gonna class and shoot out. None of that was back in 16. It was just whoever show up, that's who
Right.
you race. You get what I'm saying? Because it wasn't that many people out there on rims like that. It wasn't. The only way, it wasn't all these shows. You know how they be, oh, we got 8, 10, 12 shows. Nah, back then it really wasn't nothing but Stunt Fest. You have Stunt Fest and Whip Fest, I think, or Whip
Mm-hmm.
Addict Fest. And they both be right there in ATL. Like, them was the big shows that everybody came to. It wasn't everybody throwing all these big rim shows. So it's like you just had to go there and get it how you live, whatever
Right.
you
And
had,
it was actually legitimately grudging. Like,
So,
I love grudge racing. I ain't gonna say the shootouts ain't dope, but I'm a grudge race. I love grudge racing. I told Boost Doctor last week when I interviewed him, or the week before, I could legitimately watch Cut the Check and Boost Doctor race. I don't care if they race 785 times. I want to see it every time.
what did I was in and out on that one. I was working while he was on. Did he say he liked the grudge racing or the shootout more?
I don't think that was a question for him. But
Okay.
I will
Okay.
say what we talked about. You remember? So you've been in it for a while. So you remember when Boost Doctor first came, and he didn't have no paint
Right.
on his car. He didn't have name
Right.
brand rims, and they used to talk about him so bad. And then when he
I think he had
right,
trends to start
and
out,
then when he won all those races, he told them, "Hey, y'all paid for this paint and these rims, right?"
and that was through shootouts though,
Yes.
right?
No, well, no,
Yeah.
it was kind of through grudging. I mean, I guess. Yeah, it was
Really?
kind of through grudging because back then, remember, they was grudging. They weren't really doing shootout.
I thought thought Boost Doctor came in right when they was doing shows, because when he raced Don't Master,
He
it was
did.
at a show.
Remember he said he beat Dump Master
Yeah.
that time? And then the first time
Yeah.
he beat Cut the Check, he said he beat Cut the Check and he was like, oh my God. He beat him and he knew that they had so much more expense, so much more money in their
Right.
car.
Right.
But he said he knew he was gonna beat Dump Master. That's what he said.
Hey, sometimes, like when you know what you got and you can look at somebody else's car and know what they got on paper, you can know that you got their number. That's not unlogical there. You know, the fastest car don't always win, but you know, on paper, sometimes you can look at people set up and know that you got more than them. Just like I looked at Cut the Check them box Chevy, and I looked at Don't Master them car back in 15 and 16. And I was just like, yeah, they got way more than me. I hadn't put anywhere close to this much money, you know, in my car. You know, I thought they was like, I don't know. I should have known they was expensive because they had donks, but I thought they was really, really like full-fledged just show cars because the cars were that clean. You get what I'm saying? Man, I remember these people used to like show up to these shows, and the first place they going is to the wash man. Yeah. They getting their car washed. You know what I'm saying? Like, they not even thinking about getting these cars washed no more. You know what I'm saying? I remember them days, like I was racing back then. They would show up and go straight to the wash man to get their car washed as soon as they got there. Like, that's how clean these cars used to be, man. Like, for real, man. So, yeah, I remember them days back at 15, 16 at Stuntfest, man. Me personally, and it's like, I don't know, and I ain't trying to say how much they were Boost Doctor, but I know he has seen it in certain aspects where it's like if you was in a shootout, this person couldn't dodge you, but you just trying to race this person, the person be ducking and dodging. It's like it's no way to catch up with them in a grudge race. In a shootout, it's like you just get in the shootout. It don't have to be two willing parties, you know. It's just you done showed up and got in this shootout, so now you got to race this person. I would never race Donkzilla, never want to grudge Donkzilla with my Nike car. But I showed up to race in a shootout and try my luck, so I end up racing them. And it's like it's not a knock. You like what you like, but sometimes when I hear people say, "Oh, I like grudge racing more," I ask myself in my head, like, well, that's fine. Would you rather see 1 or 2 grudge racing, or would you rather see 20 races at an event? Like I feel like that's the situation. You hadn't been in Big Rim if you hadn't seen a grudge show where you see 20 test passes in one race at 11:30, 12 o'clock.
Oh yeah, we saw that. We definitely saw it. We had our time.
We've seen that a couple times. Yeah, we've seen that a couple times. So that's what's burnt into my head for grudge racing. That's what's burnt into my head. I remember Don't Master and Cut the Check was supposed to race at a show in Reynolds. That was on the fly. We racing, grudge race. I forgot what the pot was supposed to be. It didn't even matter. Guess what? The race never even went down. Didn't see one race the whole day. Drove all the way over there to see 0 Big Rim races at all. Was just test passes. And like that's what's burnt into my head for grudge racing. And I'm like, have y'all not been going to shows? Like, do y'all not understanding like why everybody has gone to shootouts? I'm like, people have gone to shootouts for a reason. You know, people went to shootouts for a reason.
But mind you, initially they was racing. Initially, when I say initially, I'm talking about when they first started having races. They was racing.
Yeah.
Now, as time went on, it kind of got how did Boost Doctor say it? It kind of got to where people was in it for the popularity. You get what I'm saying? Like, so they was in it for the social media notoriety and not to actually race. So that's when I feel like a lot of the fans started dropping off from going to the races.
Yeah, you had people getting paid just to show up, and they were not racing. That's when stuff really started getting out of line. When you got people showing up, they getting paid good money just to show up, and they not racing. Like that's lame for the promoter. That's lame for the fans that came out here. You know, like it's not right. So I think that also started pushing the jokes and those high ass gate prices. Um, I think that's what kind of started pushing I guess the
Right.
shootouts. You
Right.
know,
The shootouts were amazing initially to me. Then, okay, because so I look at it from both sides because I have a whole team of guys that I book races for, right?
right,
Um, and so the shootouts were amazing initially until, and I mean, I understand it from the promoter side. You have to have a car count um, in order to ensure the pot. I do get that. But when sometimes the car counts were not apparent, you weren't saying, "Oh,
right.
we need to make sure we got 8 cars." You were
Yeah,
promising that, okay, this is what you guys are getting paid,
we're gonna
whoever
pay out.
wins the shootout.
Yeah,
But you wasn't making it
right,
clear that, oh, we got to have an eight car
right,
count minimum. So
right.
now you getting these guys here, and just because 8 cars didn't decide to come, you telling me you said I was getting paid 10,000, but you finna give me 3,000,
Right. Now we got a problem.
and I came from
Yeah, now
all the
we got
way across
a
the other
problem.
side of the country.
Right.
So
Yep.
I get it. I see it from both sides only because I'm not only a fan, I book races for guys as well. So I see it from both sides.
Right. Like I can't. I look at it like this. It's like I've never tried to be a promoter. I can't really say I have any interest in
Right.
being a promoter. Um, but I can all I can do is speak from a racer, from a racer standpoint. If I'm going to an event and I got a grudge, I got to put up my own money. I got to get myself there, and I'm supposed to be showing up to entertain. For you to make money, you should be compensating me. You should be compensating me because at that point in time you have no risk obligated whatsoever. You not you can't do nothing but win. I'm the only person who can lose. Uh, in a situation where you doing a shootout and you say, "Hey, I'm gonna put up $5,000-6,000," then hey, there goes my incentive to get there. But just showing up to a race, a
Mm-hmm.
grudge race, it's no incentive. It's no incentive for me to show up there. It's not. Um, so like somebody said, some high ass gate prices. You talking about as a spectator gate prices. So I could go to a test and tune event for $25. You know, when I go to this show, it's gonna cost me $100. So if I'm gonna show up to race one or two people, why would I go to this show and get charged 100 when I could just do it on a test and tune night for 25?
Right.
Like it's no incentive to do a grudge show for me as a racer, unless I don't see it. Unless you just really want to put on a show
Right.
for the fans. You get what I'm saying? But I still feel like you could go live and do that. You know, if you just want to put on a show for the fans on a test and tune night. You
Right.
know.
And you know that he touched on it too. He said the promoters want to charge the racers 300 to get. I never
Right.
knew that until I started booking races for the guys. So now
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
I have to make sure that I can negotiate that in as well. Like
Right.
they was telling me how much
Right.
they be
Right.
having to pay to get in shows, and I was like appalled.
I pay. You know, nevertheless, you know, and this is something else to look at. True enough, I took 2 cars. So I end up paying for both of my cars and then my buddy car because he told my other car. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, I was in probably like 450. You know what I'm saying? I was in like 450, $500 getting into a show, and then I'm coming with 3 cars. I'm the person putting on the show. Why is it costing me $500?
Right.
Why is it costing me
Right.
$500? You know?
Well, Smoke, I do
Why
I
is
do
it
want to ask you now. So every well, it's supposed to be every 3 months. I do what's called the state of the culture, right? And it
Yeah.
just be my opinion on how I feel the state of the culture is going. And usually I don't let anyone on to talk, but this is gonna be the close. This will be my first whole year doing the state of the culture, and this is gonna be the closing year, the close out of the year with the state of the culture. So I'm inviting people to come on and say, talk and say, whatever they want to say. So I'll invite you when I figure out what day, because I'm gonna do it probably maybe next Sunday. Um, just to close out the
Okay.
year. And you can come on and we'll talk about, just how you feel the state of the culture is. And this might be something that we may need to touch on during that. So I'm inviting you if you wanna come on and talk.
Cool.
So question. When you are done racing and with the cars, what do you want your legacy to be?
I want people to look at me and realize that while I was out here, my number one goal was to have fun and to inspire people to get their car off of jack stands and understand that racing is fun. Um, it's nothing like doing something different. Like big rim racing is so unique. There's nobody else out here that is trying to make such a thin wall tire work and go the speeds that we're going right now. So I like being different. So that falls right into that. I just want people to and I appreciate when people come up to me, man, I follow you, you so positive, you keep me going, you give this free game. That's the person I want to be. I never want to be tied up in any of this drama stuff that's going on. I just want to be known as a racer. People know I race whatever, however. That's what I want to go down as being. Um, Also, some people call it, beating on my chest. But I try to use it to encourage people when I'm telling people like, hey, I'm doing all this stuff myself. There's really not I'm almost ready to say anybody else out doing it on this level that, they're building their motor, they're installing their motor, they're tuning their motor. It's their motor, it's their car. They set up their suspension. They're doing their wiring. They're doing absolutely everything on their car. I don't see anybody else doing it. They're doing all their fab work. You see what I'm saying? I don't see anybody else in the game doing that. And I try to point that out so people understand, like, hey, no, I'm not paying a fab shop to do this. I'm not paying a tuner to tune my car. I'm not paying a rear end man to align my rear end. I didn't pay somebody to do my suspension. I didn't pay somebody to do my exhaust or my headers. I didn't pay somebody to build my motor. I didn't pay somebody to spec this out. I don't have any sponsorship. Everything that you're seeing is on my own muscle. So if I can do it, you can do it. I don't want people to see the people who are going super, super fast. And shout out to Zilla, man. I love Zilla, but I don't want people to think, oh, well, if I ain't got money to buy no stacker, I can't go fast. Or I see such and such got 3V motors. If I can't get a 3V motor, I can't go fast. No, you can build this stuff yourself and still go fast. That's the only point I try to get out here and prove, like, the car will make fast licks. It will. And it's like, I did it, you can do it,
So you want to be encouraging to people.
Without a doubt, uplifting, because seeing your car on jack stands for years on end, it is nothing more depressing than that.
So where can the fans?
When everybody
I'm sorry, go
rides,
ahead.
everybody riding in the summer, and your car sitting on jack stand, it ain't nothing much motor. I ain't gonna say it ain't much more depressing than that, but car wise, that's a really depressing feeling to know that you got a car at the house, everybody out riding, and you looking for that motivation, to finish up. You know what I'm saying?
You're right, 'cause that was me last summer. I was so depressed. I was so
Yeah,
depressed.
yeah. That sun started coming out, and you see everybody ride. You trying to ride too. You trying to ride too. Like that's back looping to the shop that I built. I'm telling you, like, you don't really trying to work out here in 30-degree weather. Like, build you a small shop. Don't get tied up. It's like, I'm gonna show people my shop, but I gotta show them the old shop that I started in. It's like, you don't need a 40 by 40 shop because you only working on one car. You don't need no shop that big, not to start off, but throw you some up so you can get out the cold or the heat, and it'll speed the process up for you, man. It really will. It really will speed the process up for you.
Where's the next place that the fans can catch you?
Whew. I don't know. What you call it weather ain't playing fair with DNL FYB.
Right.
So I don't know if it's gonna be South Georgia or I don't know. I might go ahead. I mean, I'm big on the blogging, so I'm probably gonna end up doing I'll probably do some test hits down there in South Georgia. I'll make that trip. If anybody wants to race, I'll do some private stuff. If not, I think Black Gorillas have an event in Louisiana, and then Hot Rod is having his show, of course. So, either one of those events, you just have to follow the IG. When I try to make it out places, I try to let people know. I know people want to see the car. I be wanting to see the car just as bad as you be wanting to see the car. That's why I be in the street every day. You know what I'm saying? So I enjoy driving the car just as much as I enjoy racing it, though. I will say that also. So
So the last thing I have is the fans. Probably we can't make it happen because when you move around, you lose signal. But they wanted you to play that song, and
oh man, it's on my it's like I could cut the music on, but it's like it's on my not on my camera, it's on my phone, man. So it's like I would have to like, I guess. I don't know if I could do that. Like, I don't even know if it's even possible for me like play the music off this phone. I don't have another phone to play the music while I'm on live. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
Yeah, that's the only thing, man. I have another phone, but I don't know if it's charged up, and I'm not prepared to do that. I apologize, man. I'll shoot y'all a video after.
I should have told you. I
I
should have
wasn't
told
prepared
you
to do
initially, but I knew when you move around, it kind of start messing up. So I ain't
that.
really want you to do it.
Yeah, I feel yeah. Service is terrible in the shop. It's always been terrible. It's always been terrible. I think this phone is dead. So yeah, I apologize, man. But I mean, you catch me out at a show, I assure you, I'll be jamming my
But I gotta
music.
say,
So
you are one of the most fun. So let me say this before I say what I'm gonna say. I really believe in giving people their flowers while they are here to smell them. So from my observation and as of the time that I have known you, which hasn't been very, very long, maybe about a couple of years, or known of you, um, was a couple of years, but you are one of the most fun, positive people in the car culture period, but definitely on the big rim side. And so for that, as a person who appreciates positivity and fun, I have to say thank you, because it's 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 like a
appreciate
breath of fresh air when it's so much negativity and chaos going on around us, right?
it. Facts,
Um,
facts,
so
facts, facts.
I personally appreciate that. So I'm always gonna be one of your biggest fans. You know,
Right.
I ain't. Now I'm gonna be honest. I'm a dunk G body. You know, I'm a dunk G body, or I'm not even necessarily a box girl, but I'm a dunker or a G-body girl because I
Right,
grew up in Florida
right,
and I love
right, right.
G-bodies.
That'll do it. That'll do it to you. That'll do it to you.
So not necessarily in the car aspect, but just you as a person. You feel what
Right,
I'm saying?
right.
That's super
Yeah.
dope. And I think you are a super dope guy. You know, and we could definitely use more use in the on the big rim side.
Appreciate it. I appreciate it. I try to, like I said, I try to keep it I try to keep it positive, man, and try to uplift people, understanding that, a lot of people will say like, like this car stuff is life, like it is a lifestyle, but I mean, I feel like you get to a certain age and you understand like sometimes like doing life is more important than this car stuff. So a lot of times like, I'll be preaching on my lives on like how to navigate through life, because if you don't understand how to navigate through life, like you can't even start to get to a place to where you can even enjoy this car
Right.
stuff. You get what I'm saying? Or even be in a place to afford this car stuff to enjoy it. So yeah, I understand it's not just cars, it's life also. You got to be able to navigate through life first, and then you can get to a point to where you can enjoy this car stuff, because it is expensive. It can drive you crazy
Right.
mentally, you know what I'm saying? um and then in like situations like you said, um it'll have you ready to crash out if you spend some of your last pennies with a shop. And I have people come to me all the time, oh, this person robbed me, they did this wrong, they did that wrong. It'll have you ready to crash out if you be to spent your last couple of nickels on something, and then you done got robbed, or it ain't right, or they holding your car, they don't want to give you your car back, or they not working on your car, but they already got your money. That's where it ain't about, carring. It's about understanding how to
Yeah.
navigate life to where you can get to a point where you can enjoy the car culture.
Absolutely. Is there anything else that you want to say to your fans, followers, supporters? Hey, even your haters. Is there anything else that you want us
Um,
to know before we get out of here?
the do you know what a gopher is?
Tell me. Oh, you talking about like the animal?
You know what a gopher
Yeah, you
is?
talking about like the animal, right?
A gopher is somebody that
Oh,
just go for anything. That what that what a gopher is. So I try to encourage people that you don't have to be no gopher. You don't just have to go for anything. You can have morals and
you can.
principles, and you can stick to them. Okay, it don't matter if they say you ugly, you broke, you scared. You have your morals, your principles, your boundaries, and you stick to them. You don't have to be a gopher. Okay. um Peer pressure is still real. It's not just in high school. Your peers will still pressure you. You might have bills to pay. They say, come on, let's go to the club. Let's go to the club. But you got to get up and go to work the next morning. Like you can still have peer pressure at 25, 30, 40, 50. You can still have bad peer pressure. Try to get around some good peer pressure that encourages you to do
Right.
better in life. Who encourages you to boss up your life. You don't stay away from the peer pressure is not always bad. Just like consequences are not always bad. It can
Right.
be good consequences, you know? So get around good peer pressure, people who encourage you to do better, and then you can start seeing good consequences of you sowing good seed. You can receive good fruit.
Right.
So yes, that's the last thing I'll leave you with.
Well, Smoke, it was great talking to you, and even though we couldn't hit a song and see you act a
I
fool,
apologize.
we
I
going
apologize.
we'll look for you to do that at the track next time we see you.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, next time you see me at the track, it'll be up. We'll go up with it. I do apologize.
Oh, no worries. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule, and we appreciate you coming on.
All right, then y'all have a good night.
Thank you so much. All right, bye.
All right, bye.
So, guys, if y'all missed any of today's episode of Rides and Vibes, you can catch the full entire replay on YouTube. If you click the link in my bio, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can catch up on today's episode and watch any of the past episodes from 2019 to present. If you guys have not been watching and have not been following, thank you for joining. Thank you to the ones who have been with me or been with the show since 2019. Thank you for tuning into today's episode of Rides and Vibes, and I will see you guys next Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another episode of Rides and Vibes. Good night.